Hello, hi, welcome back. This is part two. So, in part two, I said I was going to show you the whole model complete, and I thought, actually, if it's a video log, I need to show you the whole thing complete. So, I am going to fill this part in, and then I'm going to make the bottom bracket for the actual baluster. So, and I need to scale it to the size of my character, just so you know that. So, as I said, I'm making a game called Red Band Alley. It's not made yet, so I'm hoping to make all the assets and then hopefully I can get the game running. I am making the game as I'm making the assets and I'm testing all of the assets in Unreal and CryEngine, just to let you know that. I thought, well, I haven't given you a sneaky peek yet at the game. I think if you download my assets, you can put them in the game mode yourself and you can kind of assemble them however you want. As I said, all my little lands, all my little plots, all my little basic all models, they all kind of snap together. So they're all one, maybe two Blender squares. That's all they are. So the idea is to make the assets nice, easy, downloadable, and have them all self-contained. So I'm not like most modelers. As I said, I model in a different way. I share all of my assets for free, and I'll give you everything from sound to animation to game scripts as soon as I start learning the game script. I'm not going to tell you the game scripts are easy to do. Some of them are a little bit easy. Some of them, yeah, they're a little bit complicated. I'm thinking I'm trying to keep my game as simple as possible. So I'm thinking anything that I don't actually physically need in the game mode, I'm not going to put it in the game mode. I'm not going to do the script for it. I'm really not. So I'm thinking I want like the standard things like rain, snow, all the basic things that happen, or any kind of unique things like spells and things like that. I'm not going to put them kind of things in the script because I don't actually even know where to start with that. So I'm thinking, I'm not going to do nothing that I don't know about. So if I don't know about it, I will tell you I don't know about it. It's not a fact that I can't learn it, I can. But I'm thinking, because I'm doing a lot of content in the first place, and I don't just do videos from a video channel, I do websites, blog sites, I do everything. I'm all over the place. I'm thinking, so obviously some things I've got a lot of interest in, some things I have no interest in. But I think at some point, it's not the fact that no one's interested in some of the things that we're actually showing, but what I'm actually showing you is a different way to do things. So I'm trying to cut corners, but I'm trying to make sure I cover every single part of the aspect possible. So you can do it the long way, you can do it the easy way, you can do it the short way. Like models, like this model here, because I'm making them from scratch. Now I'm only making them from scratch so that way I can tell you myself personally that on all of my 3D geometry is good, honest, genuine content. It really is. It's all handmade. So if you want it, you can take it. So as I said, it's just so I can turn around and tell you that there's no copyright on it, there's no copy restriction on it. You don't need a license, you don't need permission, you don't have to share a link, you don't have to do nothing. You just click on the download if you want it, take it, customize it, twist it, bend it. Maybe you don't want the whole balcony. Maybe you only want part of it, maybe the wood. Maybe you want only the baluster at the top. It's up to you, whatever you want. Maybe you don't want none of it. Maybe all you want is the outer framework for it. But maybe you got a different idea for it. It's up to you, whatever you want. And not only that, when I share the models, I'm not just sharing one model. Even though I do only talk about the one model on the screen, if you actually look at the things that I'm making, they're not just one thing, they're multiple things all built into one thing. Like this baluster, if you look at the baluster as a baluster or a balcony, I'm thinking, yeah. It can also be a rail, like like a stair rail. It can be a stair rail. It can be an air vent. You really the kind of limitations on the models are kind of. I'm not going to say it's endless, but it all depends on how you look at a certain piece of geometry. So if you look at it and you can only see a balcony, then that's fine realistically. But if you only look at it from one point of view, you're going to be thinking, okay, I'm looking around for, let's say, an event. You've already got the event. The event is here. So I might do a third video for this before I show the final model. I will share this model in the second video, but I will be making a third video, and I will obviously be showing you how to turn a very simple Balancer into something completely different. So as you can see, I'm actually physically building a template I'm not building a template, I've already built the template. I'm actually now, after I've built the template, I'm actually building the actual geometry that I can show you. Of course, it's a little bit time consuming, sometimes depending on what model it is. But of course, the whole point is not to really model. If you want to model, you can. But I'm saying the model's already made, you can just download it. So if you're looking at, let's say, a piece of geometry, one of our templates, and you can see something else that maybe I haven't made yet, maybe you can make it, maybe you want to put it on the internet, maybe you want to sell it. It's up to you, you can do that. Of course, if you want to make it available for free, then of course there can't be no restrictions on it. I don't want no license, I don't want no terms, no conditions. I just want to be able to take it, put it on my website, and say, look at this great looking thing here. And the best thing about it, it comes absolutely free. I'm thinking, how great is that? Of course, you know, of course, obviously, I understand that people are out there and people want to make money off the assets. And of course, they're not going to probably appreciate me sharing all my content for free. But I think, yeah, so as I said, some models do take a while to make them. And of course, you've got the right to basically charge if you want to charge for your models. Of course, I'm decided not to charge for the models because I'm looking at the model from a different point of view. I mean, you see this little point on the screen here, just one little point. I think if I don't physically own that point, which I don't, because anyone can make a 3D model and anyone can make a point. I think I don't own the point. So that means if I don't own the point, I don't own the line and I don't own the face. So if I'm kind of sitting there thinking, oh well, because I can, I'm going to charge you for more work. I mean, yeah, I can do. If you decide, say, oh yeah, well, he's charging a really great price for that. Let's download his model. I'm not going to charge it. It's free of charge. So if you want to take it, take it. As I said, if you delete all of this and just keep this half and look at it from this point of view, not from that point of view because it's back to front, from here. Don't forget these are not here. So this could be like an event on the wall. So if you put it on a wall now, and obviously you can have it as an event, you can have it like prism bars. If you kind of go to the side of this, I will make it, I'll show you. If you go to the side of here and attach a wall to it, stretch the wall out, stretch the wall up, stretch the wall down, you've got a completely same asset, but it's completely different. I think, yeah, okay, now this might not be a stereo. Maybe it's a drain system for the road. I think it's a different type of drain system. I think it could be. It could also be, maybe it could be a bed inside the prison cell next to the window. Maybe, because maybe the person likes a lot of fresh air. Possibly. You don't have to have it just. You don't have to have this height. You can drop it down. You can drop it down a little bit. Anyway, let me continue making it, and I'll show you. So that's basically that made. Now, of course, what I want to do, I need to basically bring in this rail. Now, as you can see, I haven't made the sidebars for it yet. Thinking, well, what about the sidebars? I am going to add them in there. That's what I need to do. I haven't added them, as you can see. So I will be making the sidebars and I'll be adding them to the geometry. Then all I have to do is scale the geometry to the size of my character. Now, these are not perfectly set yet because I don't know how tall my character is. I think she's about 7 squares tall. So if she's 7 squares tall, that's got to go up quite a bit. And of course, I can't stretch that up without moving that. So I'm thinking, no, I need to bring my character in, stick her on the platform, scale it to the size of my character so it fits in Red Band Alley. Now, Red Band Alley, as you may or may not know, it's a Blender square. So if you look how small it is, it's really, really tiny. It's nowhere near a Blender square. Because I'm working on a really small scale. Because I'm thinking, if I make it kind of small, not for any particular reason, I just kind of made it small. But You don't have to. Don't matter if it's massive, don't matter if it's small. But because Blender's got like a clipping plane on it, I know you can go up here and change the clipping plane. You can go in here, change the clipping plane here. I don't want to do that. I might just make it small, make it look absolutely perfect, and then I can scale it up. So even though the bars at the moment, these bars here, they look pretty big, really they are really kind of skinny bars. So when I scale it up, it's going to look different. As you can see, when I scale it down, they look quite big and chunky. They don't actually look like that, they just don't. So as I said, this is basically how it looks. So I'm thinking, okay, so this is more or less this thing finished. As I said, except for the sidebars. Now, of course, to do the sidebars, I've got the hiccups, so I apologise for it. I've also got a cold, which don't kind of help. So, as I said, I do apologise for it, I do, but I've had it for months, I can't get rid of it. And I've tried absolutely everything. So, I'm going to drag this over here to start with. This is what I'm going to do. I want to go into wireframe. As you know, I like to work in wireframe sometimes. So, you see like here, now these are 2 squares apart. Look, 2 squares, 2 squares, 2 squares. So I need to move this about 2 squares. Of course, share the line not straight. I don't want it like that. If you got both of these turned on, which is kind of great, you can take these 2 points and you can make this part actually straight. The reason why I'm telling you to make sure that it's in transparent mode is because it clicks the top point and the back point at the same time, which is absolutely great, especially if you kind of forget to put a line on your model. Now you see how the line's different again, look, I'm thinking, what it's doing, the reason why it's done that is because it's copying the pattern down there, look. So kind of moving, so go back to this side. So it's 2 squares roughly. So go back to this side, move these, just select both of them, move these back up. As I said, it's good to watch my videos because I show you all the tools and I show you kind of the best way to go about doing it. Now, if I put any more in here, they're all going to scale properly to the right gap. As I said, it's got to be every 2 look. So I've got to make sure I don't overdo it. So put that there. Move this up. So we want 2. Then we're going to go next one. As I said, I normally do all this actually already in the template. But as you know, if you watched the first video, I've done the whole template and I actually forgot the side and the balancer. So I have to add them in separately. So unfortunately for me, but it's kind of good because that way I can actually get to show you exactly how I do it. Now, of course, it's the same thing over and over again. So if you want to fast forward the video to the end, you can do that. But of course, if you do that, then you're going to miss out maybe on a little bit of conversation that I'll be having about my game mode. As I said, I'm making a different type of game, a unique kind of game. So as I said, I am trying to make it. As I said, I ain't no game expert. I'm really not. I'm just thought, well, can I possibly make a game? So I'm using CryEngine. I'm using Unreal Engine. And I'm thinking if I could use that kind of engine to kind of get my game up running, that's great. Apparently, you can put quite a bit of geometry into it. I'm thinking, I'm going to actually see because what it is, I've got a game, an actual physical game. It's it's a game for. It's not for kids. It's not really for adults either, but it is for adults, but it's not really an adult kind of game, not that kind of game. It's a bit like GTA, I suppose. Well, it's based on a different area, so that's what it is. But the area, yeah, kind of looks like exactly what it is, more or less. So I did have a few problems when I kind of uploaded it to the website. Now that game works, except the only problem with that is I can't actually share it because the locations and all that in the game is almost physically the exact identical as the exact locations in the real world. So whatever's actually in the game, I'm not saying it's not illegal to do it. It's not. But you know, some game companies rather you not kind of base it on a real kind of world situation. Real for whatever reason. So I'm thinking, okay, if I'm making something and I want it to look like whatever it's supposed to be, like if I'm making a tree and obviously I want it to look like a tree, then I want it to look like a tree. If I'm basing a game on a particular place, a particular area, I want to be able to do that. So I think I'm not saying you can't do it, you can do it, but when it comes to releasing the game, it's it's kind of a bit of a drama, really. You say, well, you can't put that there because obviously in real life it's actually it's like a blueprint of the actual area, basically, except it's actually physically in the game mode. So I think as I said, then you got to watch basically what you're making when it comes to making games. So of course, because the game is supposed to be fictional, not real. Now, all my content, I tell you, all the content I share, I don't share fake content. I don't do it. I think I don't want to sit there, waste anybody's time, and people wouldn't appreciate that. They just wouldn't. So I think if I'm going to make a game, and of course I know it's a game, and it's supposed to be based on fantasy and fiction, and I think what happens if you're playing a game and it's actually real life? So let's say you see like a news story on the internet of anything. I think if you could actually if you could basically copy the whole entire thing and put it into a video game, I think of course the people and the story, especially the people, they wouldn't really appreciate that. They wouldn't. But if that's really truly what happened, I think can I make a game about that? I think okay. Now obviously some kind of things in the real world you really wouldn't want to make a video about. You really wouldn't. But like certain things, certain locations, like say, let's say like an old, like I don't know, let's think of, I don't know, let's say a volcano going off somewhere in a part of the world. Now, of course, in the game world, you can kind of go there, look at the actual story to it, see how it unfolds, and do you know what I mean? Like that kind of thing. So you're like playing part of real life, even though you can't change the outcome. But maybe in the game world, maybe you can do things in a different way. So I think you can kind of twist, bend it, and shape it slightly, but still tell the actual story, if you know what I mean. So anyway, as I said, when you're making a game, there's a lot of thought has to go into it because you got to make sure you don't do certain things and like weapons and things like that. Obviously, you you can allow weapons in a game. Obviously, depending what kind of game it is, but again, depending what kind of audience you're trying to that you're trying to get to play your game. Like my game, I'm making a game. It's one game. That's what it is. But I'm going to have my game kind of work different to most other games. So if somebody might play a game, let's say an adult playing my game, I say, well, I'm not playing the game because it's a kid's game. I'm thinking, okay, it's not actually physically a kid's game. It is, but it's not because it's made for all ages. So there's certain puzzles in the game. I know myself realistically, unless the kid's really, really, really intelligent, they're not going to be able to unlock half the levels. They just won't be able to do it. Physically, they won't be able to do it. So I think some of the puzzles are going to be way, way, way too hard. So now an adult might be able to unlock them. I'm not saying the adult can do it, but the adult might be able to do. The adult should be able to unlock the levels. I think if they can do that, they can unlock certain secrets of the game that adult might see. Could be a jump scare. It could be a different type of story. So I'm trying to give you a choice in the world that you can decide how the game plays out. Because in the game world, I'm using my character's got like her own AI. So my character is basically physically able to play the game herself. She don't actually need you to actually play the game. I can just basically turn the game on and tell the character to actually complete the game, just in case I want to watch how she does it. So next time I play it, I've got a good idea. So now we can leave that like that. So that's basically how we're doing it. And then we're going to stick the top on it and we're going to go, oh, that's perfect. Now, some modelers leave it like that and thinking, oh yeah, I've done an absolutely great job with that. What a work of art. All from nothing. I'm thinking, yep, it does look great, kind of. But it looks kind of a little bit weird with a big step on it like that. So I'm thinking I'm gonna have to scale that in a bit because there's too much lip going on. And I'm thinking, maybe not. Maybe I can leave it there in the game mode and maybe put some keys on there. Maybe a secret key. Maybe put some food on there. Maybe I don't know. I can hide something there like a crowbar. Maybe. But that's not what it's about. What it's about is saving it. Go here, save it again. Save it on this one, number 3. Now for the tricky part. Now you see underneath here, we don't have a base on it. Now, of course, if you go underneath the building and look up, you're thinking, hang on a minute, there's something not quite right with that. I'm thinking, yeah, because it's not made. Okay, so I haven't made it. So I need to make the underneath part, this part here. This part is perfect. I haven't got to make it. All I've got to do is just basically join up the edges. You see the edges here? That's all I have to do. So it's pretty easy and pretty simple. But I'm not going to do that yet. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to look at my geometry. I'm thinking I want something a little bit different. Because there's no faces on it, it's going to look kind of a bit weird. But now, of course, you can sit there and watch the rest of the video if you want, and I can actually put the faces on for you. Now I need to find the middle of this. So of course I need to count the dots because I can't quite see the middle. I think the middle's right there. But I think what I need to do is look at it. What I'm trying to do, I'm trying to work out if this is hanging on the wall, which is exactly where it is. I'm thinking, first of all, let me make this corner because I can't physically see what the actual corner geometry. I can see it, but it's going to be easier to look at it like this. So what I said, all I'm going to do is fill the bottom in. Now you say, well, that's not straight. It's not supposed to be straight. It's supposed to be like kind of sloped inwards. So all I've got to do basically is do that and then join these to that. That's all I've got to do. So let me just kind of tilt it this way so I can kind of get a good look at it. As I said, you said, well, you actually know what you're doing. I actually do physically know what I'm doing. So it's these ones here. That's what I'm after. So I want this one. Now I know roughly where it is. I'll need to go back to this side. Tilt it like this so I don't get the wrong one. No, ow. I want this one, this one, this one, this one, fill that. Now you see the face upside down, go here, flip the face, so your face is towards me. Of course I've got to do that right round it, but I'm not going to do that on video because it's going to take too long. And of course, I will let the video play probably, so you can actually see what I'm doing. Now, what I want to do is I want to click this face, because I want to do something a little bit different. Of course, you really probably wouldn't do it this way, but this is how I'm doing it. So I want to go side view, zoom out, zoom back in, go over here, go to extrude. Of course, really I'd probably build a frame and stick it on the wall. That's probably what I would do. But I'm going to extrude it out of here, and then I'm going to leave it. Then I'm going to extrude it again, and I'm going to leave it. And then I'm going to think, that's the back of the wall. So I'm thinking, it's kind of okay, but it's kind of not, because I don't really want it off the wall. I want it actually right in the corner. But it will work anyway, so I can do it like that temporarily. So that's the back ones, and now I need the front ones. So temporarily, let me just undo them because I want to make sure they're all exactly the same. So go this side. As I said, I don't want them kind of odd. I want to kind of make it look kind of even. So everything is kind of similar. As I said, normally I might make 2 cradles for this. I might make it this kind of cradle. Yeah. As I might make this kind of cradle, and then I might make an actual cradle. So the whole balcony basically just sits on top of the cradle. Just in case maybe you want to take the balcony off the wall. It might fall on the floor, maybe. Well, who knows? So I want to go here. As I said, I want a different colour balcony so it don't look like someone else's. As I said, I can make it perfect if I want to make it look like a balcony. Just put it down. So put it down 1, and then just put it again. So I'm thinking, yep, now what do I want to do? Now what I want to do is kind of see now really what would actually look nice on that I think would actually be like a second lip go around it. Maybe, I don't really know. I'm thinking possibly, but actually what would look nice underneath that is a big sheet of glass. I'm thinking, yeah, I can add the glass in after. The faces are here looking back to front, if you haven't noticed. So I'm thinking, yeah, actually I might actually put a sheet of glass underneath there. I know it's going to look kind of weird, but I'm thinking no one else has actually ever done that. So I'm thinking, of course you wouldn't have a sheet of glass underneath the balcony. Not really, you wouldn't. I think it's a game mode, so it's not real. So I'm thinking, okay, now what I want to do is look at the back of it. So I need this one over here. No, I don't want that one. What I need is this one. Almost pulled the wrong one then. So zoom out of here. As I said, it's all about trial and error. And of course, I'm not going to have a middle one, I don't think. I might do, I don't know yet. So let's just do this part. Kind of looking like this, and I think the balcony is roughly 2 squares tall. So now, if there's any engineers out there, they're looking while they're looking at what I'm doing, thinking, you made that completely wrong. I'm thinking, there's no right way or wrong way to do it. There's really not. That's what I'm going to tell you. So go here. Okay, now of course, any proper engineer would say, no, that would definitely fall off the wall. But yeah, it probably would do in real life. But I'm thinking, I'm not, I'm not basing this game on real life. This is just kind of, yeah, kind of like just a homemade kind of story. Move that to there, and I'm thinking, saying, now as you can see, I'm working in wireframe. I'm thinking, if I do it like that, it's not going to look quite right. So I don't think I'm going to try it because, as I said, it's all about trial and error, and it's all about. Just click on here. I'm trying to get the face thing. That's what I'm trying to do. So okay, go here. I'm going to zoom out a little bit. Now, of course, when I connect this to here, it's going to look a little bit kind of probably weird at first, but you'll get the idea in a moment. So go here, here. I need to go here. No, I'm not doing that. I want to go. Oh, I want that one at the back. That one and that one. I want to turn that off. As I said, I'm going to load it up properly in a moment. So I'm going to do that one and that one. I'm going to do this one, this one, this one, and this one. As I said, I'm making like a sidebar for the actual. Yeah, something like that. So it looks kind of half normal. Just to kind of sort of stick it on the wall, basically. But of course, I didn't delete the face. Of course, I never. As I said, sometimes when I make things, I kind of forget and I have to go back in and kind of delete the face. As I said, now what I want to do here, I want to delete the face. So go in here. No, I want the face in there. Turn this. See the face in there? You're never going to see inside there, so I can delete the face. You say, well, what do you delete the face for? I delete the face to save on geometry. That's what I do it for. Now, if you go through the whole model, you'll notice inside the boxes, like underneath these posts here, there's actually no face underneath them because I've actually deleted them. You don't need them. So, of course, if you decide to pull the post out of the hole, then you're going to have a physical hole inside it because there's nothing inside it. So, go back to this one. I'm going to kind of do it from this angle. Go underneath here, click this, right click, delete the face. Zoom back in a little bit so you can kind of see what you're doing. Click right inside there, delete that face, go inside here, delete that face, go back here, click this point, this point, this one, and this one, and refill it. And that's it. I know it's only saved you 2 faces, but it's not because the face splits into 4. So you've actually saved yourself 4 faces. Now, that's almost kind of ready to share, near enough. Of course, we want to paint it, really, but before we paint it, I have to do something different to this because now, of course, like the balance that on top, it's not part of the actual platform. It's not. want it all part of the same thing. So obviously I don't want these separate from this. Now some models basically they just leave it like that and thinking, oh yeah, okay, I'll share that. So what if I just leave it like that, and if I just shared that like that, it would look perfectly fine. But I'm thinking, I don't want my balancer like that. So I'm thinking, no, I'm not sharing that. So anyway, this is what I said. So I need to go here and here. Now of course, what I want to do, this is the balancer, so go here. Now this is how I do it. So I'll go here. Obviously I don't want to show that. I want to just save that for a second. I said I want to click the model, go here, say edit. Take all the top points, right click and just delete them. Click all these and delete them. Thinking, really? I'm thinking, yep, really. Click on all the points, delete all the points. So there's no points on it. Thinking, that's pointless. Now, I know someone out there is actually telling me or thinking maybe that is absolutely pointless. Probably, but this is how I do it. So I'm going to right click on that. I'm going to control C, copy the name. I'm going to click this one. I'm going to click this one. I'm going to come out of this mode, go into object mode and join it. So it becomes one piece. I'm going to paste it because it's going to be easier for me to use it like this. So I'm thinking, okay, now all I have to do is, I know it's a little bit more work on my side, but I think it's going to look a whole lot better. So I'm thinking it's going to be better basically. So I'm thinking, okay, what I want to do, I need to look at the bottom, look up here, and join the actual connect. See the points. I said it might look like a long thing, really, and I think it's absolutely pointless, but it's not. I need to make sure all of these join up properly and perfectly. So all I do is put the first piece in, take a look at it, thinking, is that in the right place? Well, it looks like the right place. So now all I do is go around the model, click on the edges, fill them back in. And now I don't have to worry about these falling off because they're not going to fall off because they're physically attached to the model itself. Now of course I'm going to undo that because that's not correct. As I said, if you want to continue watching the video, you can continue watching it. But all I'm going to do basically is fill these in. And after I do these, I'm actually going to colour it in. So if you want to watch that part, continue watching it. And of course, I've only got to do the backs and the fronts, and of course the sides. So, and I've got them too far away from me, I can't quite see the actual dot. So I want that dot, that one. As I said, I could do faces really, I could do edges if I want to do edges. But yeah, that's nice. So as I said, I don't want to do edges because sometimes the edges work. I'll show you what I mean. If I go edges, I'll just click that edge, go up here, click this edge, say yeah, click here, say well that's faster, do that instead. Okay, we'll do this way. Now I don't use edges like this because sometimes, even though they do connect, sometimes they actually don't connect. So I'm thinking, and as I said, I don't want to share a model. I need to use around and say, did you know when you've done the edges? Yeah. They say, well, they wasn't actually joined. I think, yep, I did tell you in the video that sometimes they join and sometimes they don't. So I said, if I'm lucky, I'll get away with it. If I'm not lucky, I have to basically redo it. So click here, click here. I said, it is pretty quicker, obviously, to do edges. And, you might prefer to do edges. And I do want to show you all the tools that's basically available that you can actually do, just so you can do it yourself. But of course, you might not even model this way. You might model different. I said that part's done now, so we've done all that side. Now we want to do this side. Now the problem with this side is, yeah, you know what we've done? We've done the palette for the bottom. So we're almost there, but we didn't add the bottom ones to the top. So there's two ways I can do it. I can delete these temporarily. I can delete these. I can copy the bottom and paste it back to the top and then just join it. So that's what I can do. So that's going to be the fastest way for me to do it. As I said, because I'm making everything from scratch, Of course, I do make mistakes, and of course, it's up to you whether you want to keep watching the mistakes or not. But as I said, it's good to watch the mistakes. So what I'm going to do, look here. So it's just roughly above 2. Now, the reason why I'm looking at that is because what I'm going to do here is something really which is kind of crazy. So I'm going to go delete, go back here. I'm not going to do all of that. I'm just going to go into wireframe, click all the dots, and go here, and go yes. And you notice there's still some there. Look, go here, get all these. So did you just do that? Yeah, but I can't have them. So I'm back to my platform again, the second time. So I'm thinking what I want to do is fill in the faces, fill faces. Now the faces are not missing. These are the faces for the actual post. So I'm thinking, yeah. So what I need to do is bring this to the top. So I need to click on this thing. I need to copy it. I need to right click, paste it, hide it, leave this one left. Now of course, I want to get rid of everything and just keep the top part. So all I want is my actual balance stat, nothing else. So remember earlier on when we actually went around and clicked the faces? We're going to do that. We're going to do this one, this one, this one, this one, this one. As I said, I'm leaving the gaps in between the center, and I'm leaving them there for a reason. So you'll see the whole point of it in a minute. As I said, well, I don't want to really watch you do the whole thing again. I'm not doing the whole thing again. I'm kind of taking a shortcut. I'm just taking a different kind of shortcut. As I said, really all this was made from the beginning, but because I didn't actually add this part to my template, I have to add it separate to the 3D model. And then of course later on I'll go back in and add it to the flat surface. So when you kind of go to the flat surface and you just pull it out the floor, it's going to work absolutely great. Go here, right click, split, right click, separate selection. So yeah, go here, click this and delete it. Okay, well, that looks weird. Yeah, that does look weird. Now click on this, go here. As I said, it was 2 squares from the top, move it back to 2 squares. I think once you've done that, leave it where it is. Thinking, perfect. Now, what I want to do is join this to this. So get this one, put it in here, select both of them, just left click, hold, drag it, go over here, go join, it joins, it's saying fantastic, back up here, save it. Now, of course, all we have to do is go back to the line tool. Now, I suppose this way is going to be kind of a little bit easier for me to kind of assemble the actual framework if you want to look at it from that point of view. So, as I said, you can go to line tools. Now, don't forget, you've got to put in the missing ones, the ones that are actually missing, like here. Now, you can't do that because there's no line there. See like that? So you have to go here and here. So yeah, here, here, here and here. So yeah, go here, here, here and here. Don't forget, you've got to put the ones in that are not there, not the ones that are there, and fill the top in because that's your balance stat. But you don't need to fill it because we're going to extrude it. So I'm going to tell you to temporarily fill it in. Now, if you look at it like this, now of course, if we look at the actual panel, thinking, did we just fill that? Click on here, click that. You see we did fill it, put it back to front, go here, flip it. As I said, keep an eye on it because it will flip itself back over. As I said, it's the same thing we're doing, we're not doing nothing different. So I'm just taking a different approach to it. As I said, sometimes it's good to do faces, and sometimes it's good to do edges, and sometimes it's better to do dots. So of course it all depends on your preference and how you want to go about actually building the actual model. Got to make sure I fill the top faces. Just no, I don't want that. What's that? kind of made a mistake on that one. So as I said, just go around it, fill in all the gaps. As I said, it's the same thing as extruding it from the bottom to the top, except instead of extruding it, of course I can do that, but of course I want the model to be attached. So I don't want to stick with like say, like obviously not many people. I think I put that in the wrong place, haven't I? What's that? Let me just fix this one over here because there's a problem with it. I'm just checking as I'm going along because I don't want any errors in it. I just want to make it perfect. So as I said, I do build things different ways, and obviously, as I said, because of the way I build things, I don't want someone to kind of think that that I'm kind of cheating and kind of taking someone else's content because I'm genuinely not doing that. I'm really not. Of course, I could do that and obviously save myself a lot of time, but there's no point doing that because obviously some content is genuinely copyrighted, and I don't want to use nothing that's copyrighted. And I know if you just email certain people, certain companies, they probably will give you permission to use the model. But I think I've got too many emails to kind of send. I think I ain't doing that. It's too much. It's too much. So as I said, and obviously some models you can just basically give a link back to the individual or company, and they're kind of fine with that. But as I said, it all depends on the type of game content you're making and whether or not you're making profit from it. But some models say, oh yeah, you can use it, it's royalty free. I mean, that's great. But you then can't earn money from it. I think, no. If I want to build my game and I don't want to make any money off it, of course, in my case, that is my case scenario. So I can do that. I don't want to make no money off it. I really don't. I'll make a fair charge. So if some kid wants to download it and play it, they can do. Or if some adult wants to download it and play it, they can do. But of course, it all depends whether it's your kind of game or not. As I said, because I've got different stories and depending on how you play the game will kind of learn in a kind of way how you're actually doing the game. And it will kind of change things around slightly for you. So if you're thinking you do one model and you're thinking, oh, that's really easy, the game will know that and the game will change the game plan. The game itself will actually change its strategy. So even though you might think, oh yeah, I can do this game, it's really easy. The more easier that you find the level, you can guarantee the game will switch on you and you'll kind of do things in a different way. So when you go there, say, oh, actually, all you do is this, that, and the other, and then it all works. Not in every case. So as I said, I don't know what to face the back to front. I really don't. So go back here. As I said, when the face the back to front, it just kind of slows down the process. So as I said, I'm going to look at them, make sure they're all facing the right way. As I said, I don't understand why they're actually facing the wrong way, but sometimes they are. So I want to keep an eye on them, make sure that they're all facing in the right direction. Like that one back to front. As I said, when they kind of go back to front like that, obviously all it does is just slow down the actual progress of the thing. As I said, going here. Of course, I don't have to flip the faces as I'm going. I can come back after and flip them. Really, if I'm just doing it like this, I want to flip them as I'm going. That way, I don't have to come back and do them. Okay, yep. As I said, that's the side. Now, see, now really all I can do with this, if I wanted to, is make one side and then copy and paste it and put it on the other side. That's what that is basically what most people do. But I'm thinking, yeah, you can do that, and then you can go wow the edges. But unless everything's lined up perfect, it's not actually going to well properly. It's really not. And then if it comes to smoothing the actual geometry and things like that, then of course Then I'm running to poems. Just give me a second. Okay. I like to do things different. I like to, I like to make my own content properly. So as I said, I don't want my character when she's in the level, and especially because she's like a young character, I don't want her to actually end up falling off the building because that won't be good for me. And it won't be good for the character because obviously I'll have to restart my level. I'm thinking, no thank you. Now if I get really, really far and I've collected loads of goodies and then I find out I fell off and I wake up in hospital and then of course next day I've got no goodies. So I'm thinking, what happened to all my goodies? Well, of course, if you're in the game world and something happens, if you have a big pile of goodies, now if you end up in hospital for any reason, of course, you might end up with the goodies at the end of it, but of course, if it's something else, it might get confiscated because maybe you're not supposed to have it. So I'm thinking, thank you, doctor. So yeah, so obviously, watch what you're doing in the game world and watch the items you're carrying because certain things you can have, there's certain things you're not supposed to have, but of course, and there's certain things in the game world, not even the people in the game world know what they are. So I'm thinking, that's kind of great. But of course, if you got something that someone else had never seen before, they might want to decide to take it off you. So I'm thinking, yeah. So just when you have your items, you've got like a secret hiding place where you can hide all your best goodies. Now the only person who knows where that is you. And of course, if you forget your kind of, I'm gonna say password, um, even you can't access the pieces, and you will lock yourself out of your inventory, which won't be good because if there's anything in there you actually need, of course, you can't lock yourself out of your inventory in most games. In my game, you can lock yourself out of your own toolbox. So let's say you got certain items in there, and there's only one of those items in the whole game. Just don't forget the password for your inventory. Now it should be quite easy to remember, but I've done it that way, so you might think, oh yeah, I won't forget that password. It's easy, and you do get a few hints about it along the journey. Of course, the only person who knows how to use it is yourself to keep your inventory nice and clear and safe, just so you don't get anyone going in the inventory and run off with your items. Just to let you know that. As I said, just click on the faces, come along the panels, make sure you click on all the ones that's back to front, which are all of these, not that one, this one, this one. Yeah, of course, you have to do all the ones on the opposite side because, of course, and back to front too. Now, as you know, obviously, I'm not doing it intentionally. It's just the way Blender works. So why he put them back to front in the first place, I don't know. So I'm thinking, now, at first I thought maybe because you have to do left to right or right to left, maybe you have to do it in a certain order. Um, it doesn't seem to make a difference. It really doesn't. So I'm thinking, either way, it kind of flips your faces around for you. I'm thinking, okay, Blender. And of course, another kind of weird thing that I found in Blender. If you don't turn faces, if you don't turn your faces on, go here. If you don't turn this on, you won't notice this, and you've probably done this about 20 times. But I guarantee, if you turn faces on and go and look at your model is definitely 100% back to front. Um, but I'm just looking at that because I think there's something about it just doesn't look right. So as I said, it might just be me, but as I said, if you look at your model, the chances are it's going to be back to front. So I think my model's done back to front. Stick it back in Blender, turn on back faces and have a look at it. And I'm thinking, let's say you get that back faces and they're absolutely perfect. Thinking, brilliant. Did you know when you go up here and you go into object mode, I'll show you after I do the model. Now, I guarantee that you don't know this because I never knew this. And I'm not saying I know everything about Blender, but I didn't know this part. And I've noticed that most people on the internet who are actually using Blender, they don't even mention it. Thinking, do you not actually know about it? Now, it's like a little kind of, it could be a bug, not a bug. It's kind of like a little glitch in the software. I don't even know if Blender's aware of it, but I don't think they are aware of it because if they was, they would, I'm assuming they would fix it. But as I said, when you kind of apply all transforms to your model, and you have to do that, by the way, so your model goes to 0. When you do that, it will actually flip your mesh inside out. So don't do it. Go and try it, and I guarantee you it will flip your mesh inside out. And if it don't, it must just be my models. Because my models, every time I apply scale to them, it flips my models inside out. So what I normally do, before I apply the scale, I export it. So I've got a copy of it. Hang on a minute, I'm just trying to work this face out. Because they look back to front, but then again, they don't. So as I said it won't take long to kind of get to the end, but as I said, everything takes time. See like that one, back to front, go back here, flip it. And do that. I'm just kind of looking at the model thing because I'm thinking, did I actually face that the right way? As I said, there's loads of different ways to model. There really are. So as I said, I might just do the faces like this, and then just to kind of speed up the process, and then come back and flip the faces after. That's what I might do. As I said, I don't make big, massive, long videos, but I don't want anyone to obviously think that, oh yeah, well, you didn't actually make it. As I said, I want to do the video log properly, so you can actually see it from start to finish. As I said, I haven't showed you how to colour it yet. To colour it is really, really easy. And then of course, now if I want to UV map it, so I can put pressures on it, of course I can do that. That's going to be for a different video at a different time. So as I said, to UV map it is pretty easy, but again, like I said to you, it's now that's not a long video, it's only a few seconds, but it's kind of that quick, it's not really worth doing a video about it. But it is still worth doing the video because if you don't know how to do it, then of course you just don't know how to do it. It's as easy as that. So I'm thinking, okay, as I said, it won't take too long to get to the end. So as I said, if you still watch my videos, I really truly appreciate it. And as I said, yeah, obviously vlog, I'll do that one. As I said, sometimes I make mistakes myself, and obviously it's good to kind of see how I go about fixing it, or maybe I run into a situation of thinking, maybe you're a model yourself. Maybe you're looking at what I'm doing and thinking, I wouldn't even do it that way. Now, of course, there's loads of ways to model. There really are, and obviously it all depends on how you model. Now, if you model and you kind of just take a piece of wood, kind of stick it inside the piece of wood, make it look like it works, you say, well, that's all you have to do. Yeah, I know that, but I'm thinking if I'm making a model and if I'm going to spend an hour on it, an hour and a half, 10 minutes, 5 minutes, doesn't matter. I'm saying it's nice to make something properly. So if you actually share it on the internet, or if you want to put it in the game world, you can say, "Oh, look, I've got a 3D fence," and really it's not. It's like a 2D texture thing with that kind of looks like a 3D fence. Now, of course, you can do that as well if you want to do that to save memory. But I think because of the game engine I'm using, I can actually physically use real graphics and actually have an actual proper 3D model actually in the game world. And the reason for it, because as I said, my games are all about casting shadows, casting light, and things like that. And obviously that's exactly what I'm doing. That's what my intentions are. So I'm thinking, okay, I want to give like a kind of a different kind of experience. Like when you put like sound on, let's say, like let's say you're walking through the woods in a game. Now, of course, the sound effect is kind of great if you've got kind of like a really kind of spooky kind of sound going on, because it kind of put the person or the character on the edge of the seat. But of course, if you got the shadows going with that, um, because in most films, most games, it's all about the sound and like obviously if you turn the TV up a little bit, you got the sound going on, makes it look all scary, creepy, and I think in sometimes you get the shadows going on with it. Now, when that happens, it usually turns out to be an half decent film. But obviously, because really it's it's the shadows that kind of make it all more kind of spooky. Like if you make a house and let's say you turn the lights down low, put it somewhere kind of random where you wouldn't really go. It makes a bit more of a spooky kind of feeling in the game. Well, that's my own personal belief. So that's what I think. So I'm thinking, okay, I'm going to make my games kind of based on that kind of scenario. So I'm thinking, okay, even though something might not actually be scary, but I think even if you go to a location that you know pretty well, let's say in the morning, at night time, I guarantee really, if you look at it from a different point of view, the same location, even some locations that look kind of great in the daytime, like over where I live, there's a house that over here, it's a bungalow actually, that's what it is. Now, the person who lives there is absolutely great. They really are. It's an old couple. They're in their 80s, so I think it's great. But because of all the plants and bushes in the garden, it looks great. But when you go there at night time, and the way they've got the lighting situation kind of set up in the garden, it looks proper spooky. It really does. I think, obviously, I have actually asked them, I said, how come you got your lights like that? And the man and woman said to me, we done it like that because it looks spooky. I mean, yeah, they definitely achieved what they wanted to achieve. It looks like a completely different house at night time. It really does. I think, okay, if that's kind of what they want to do. So I think that's kind of like my little bit of inspiration, really, from the house, basically, in my area. I mean, the real house is real location, the real people live there. And I do know the two, like, I'm going to say, elderly people. I said, they are great, they really are. They're super friendly. So, okay, we're almost at the end. And then we got to go back over it and just turn around the faces, throw some paint on it, and then we can actually put it on the internet and see if anybody clicks on it. As I said, it's there if you want it. If you don't want it, you don't have to have it. So, of course, I'll be putting it in my game in Red Band Alley. So, as I said, I'm not just sharing that to say, oh, here's an asset if you want to use it. You can use it, but I'm not going to use it. I think, everything I'm making, I'm using. So, as I said, I don't want nothing in the game world that's not going to be used. So, everything in the game world has to interact with everything else in the game world. So, if the balcony is here, it has to perform some kind of action. Otherwise, I'm not having it in the game. So, go here. Now, just click off it. Now, what you're looking for are all the ones that are inside out. Pull it down a bit. As I said, so it's every like kind of second one basically. As I said, if I do see any that's kind of back to front, I will kind of flip them at the same time. No, can't do that. Yeah, you can flip that one, that one, that one, that one, that one. No, this one, this one, this one, this one. As I said, just go along it. Yeah, is there something? There's a problem with that, so I need to fix that. So let's fix them ones first. See how it does? See when I press that, it kind of does that. I mean, what's that doing? I mean, you ain't doing that, son. You're really not. So I'm thinking, go here, delete that. delete that. Let's see what's going on with that. That's some kind of weird thing going on with that. Delete that. Is there a face on it? Let me just check these, make sure there's any faces on them. I said these one. Okay, so it does have a face. I said they should have faces, so there shouldn't be any problem with it. Okay, some kind of. Okay, this one doesn't have a face. Is there a face on that? Nope, there's no face on that one either. How did I miss that? Of course, the face is upside down. So flip that. Now these ones are missing, so let's just fill these spaces. As I said, it won't take much longer, so we're almost there. Go here, 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 here. As I said, I've got to keep an eye on what I'm doing because I've got to make sure there's no more errors in it. As I said, it's good to kind of flip the faces because that way you can actually see if there's actually any errors actually in the geometry, like there, look. And on that, it's kind of good for someone to show you the back faces because you might know how to do it. Then again, you might not know how to do it. There's a hole in that then. So let's just check the front of it. So I think it's looking good. I think it's all done. I don't think that one's done. Just go behind that. As I said, I've got to make sure everything is perfect because otherwise, if you download my content, I'm thinking, well, you didn't turn the face around, bubble box. I'm thinking, yeah. So just to save you doing it, I'm gonna thinking go around the model, just kind of look at what I'm doing. I'm gonna click here. I've only clicked there so I can actually zoom the camera into that part. So because obviously wherever I click, that's basically where the camera's gonna look. So, okay, so I think it's done. I'm just gonna check the ones down this side. These ones here. Click on this one. And I think that's our final. I think that's it. I think it's done. So yeah, about time. That was a long rail. So thinking, okay, it was a bit of a long kind of video, really. Well, as I said, I want to kind of turn it this way. Now all I'm going to do is basically make the rail part. This is super easy, so honestly, it won't take long to do it. All I've got to do is select all of these, stretch them up, and basically that's it. I've got to obviously just work out. So if I kind of half tilt this a little bit, just kind of half tilt it, I'll show it cheat. Just make sure I don't get the ones at the bottom. No, I don't want them ones. Let's go here, undo that. Okay, I'm going to manually select these ones. How did I miss M3? Come on. And that should be more or less it. So zoom in, go to extrude, find the middle, extrude it, not like that. Go to snap, go 1, 2, because you want a nice big border on it, a nice big chunky balcony. Of course, it could be a different type of balcony. Maybe it's not like a fire escape. Maybe it's actually a balcony for outside the house window. As I said, you can make it slightly different if you want, but I think this is kind of my interpretation of it. Of course, maybe like the back part here, because it's going to go flush against the house, this part might not actually be here, so you might have to push that back in, so it's perfectly flat, which that would actually probably make some sense. But as I said, it's up to you. I've still got to do underneath there anyway. As I said, all I've got to do underneath here. As I said, I'm going to stop the video here, but and then I'm going to add the colour to it. So all I've got to do is join up these edges and join these edges. That's it. That's what I'm going to do, basically. And of course, I've got to turn this face back over because this face is upside down, and this face is upside down. As I said, everything else is perfect. So all I've got to do basically is just fill the bottom in, and I might just tweak the back of that. Yeah, what I'm going to do, I'm going to change the back slightly. I'm going to push it back in so it's flat. So when it's actually flat against the wall, you don't have a step here, because you wouldn't really have a step behind that. Not really, you wouldn't. So anyway, as you say, thanks very much for watching. And just before you go, I want to show you this, just in case you want to know how to change the colour. I'll not change the colour on that. I'm going to go here, add a box, add a plane. Doesn't matter, add something, bring it into the scene. Of course, not like that, because it's not doing it. Okay, go just click inside the screen and click here, go add a box. Can't seem to move the cube. Okay, take the cube, make it nice and big so we can see where is it. Can't even see the cube. That is super small. Or it's super big on the other. Where is it? Yeah, I'm just looking for it. I can't even see it. It is in there. It's there. How come I can't see the cube? And I'm just undoing the cube. Well, I'm trying to undo the cube. Anyway, to change the model, this is all you do. Click your model, come over here. I'll use this instead. Come down here, material. Go here, new. Now to see the actual colour in live mode, in this mode, when it makes a new material, lock it, turn this mode on. So this one here is live view, so you can see it. Go here, change the model to whatever you want. I want to do blue. So go blue, and my balcony turns blue. Because it's a blueprint. Go here, save it. Now of course, because I'm going to be working on that, and I don't want it blue, because it's going to be harder to see the colours. So I want to go here, back into normal mode, and then I can just leave it like that. So I can just basically do work like this. Okay, so I'm going to fill this part in. I'm going to just see that little lip on the back. I'm going to chop that off, and then I'm going to fill the gap in. That's what I'm going to do. So anyway, the model will be available for download. So I'm going to do one more video, basically of the model being coloured just like that, and then I'm going to show you it. The links will be under the video if you want the actual balcony. As I said, no copyright, no restrictions, download it, do with it as you please. And of course, if you want to add these bars, maybe one in the middle somewhere, you can do that. But it's up to you. Maybe you want a couple of bars going across the centre, like to make it a bit stronger. But of course, the character's not going to really fall through that. Not really, they're not. But of course, if you want to put them an extra line through the middle to make it look like he's got like an extra piece of bar in the middle, maybe you put one here and one here, but to make it look nice. But as I said, I don't want to add nothing I don't need to add. And really, that kind of don't look too bad. So I'm thinking, yep, put some flowers on that, a few plants, a bit of snow on it. That look great. Anyway, watch the next part, and I'll show you it. Anyway, thanks very much. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. As I usually say, stay safe, keep it friendly. See you soon. Bye.